I don't think he chose to put that commandment as number 5 on just because he felt like it. I really believe that God's heart is for having a strong family. I think it breaks his heart to see so many of those babies we were talking about born in situations where they don't have a mom or don't have a dad there all the time. And so even the concept of family, restoring that family, we have to even, talking about Father's Day, we have to restore what it means to even be a dad and, be a man. That's kind of a little shady at times, because if you were just going to base TV and movies on what the American dad is, you're probably going to think of this. These guys should probably pop in your head, right? These guys should probably pop in your head of what the American dad is, right? And they all have one thing in common. Okay, what do you think they have in common? Just kind of shout it out. What do you think? All these guys have what in common? Huh? I heard somebody say something. Don't be shy. Huh? Lazy, right? Okay, most dads are lazy. What else? They're funny. Yeah, but funny how? Like funny, like you're funny. You're laughing at them, right? Because they're idiots. What else? That they all have that. They all share that thing in common. They're all like lazy, or they're all buffoons. They don't know what they're doing, right? That's the American dad we see on TV. But we know that that's not true. We have to, men, we need to kind of step up and show that, no, I'm not the Homer Simpson. I'm not that guy. I'm somebody else. And we find that identity in God. And so when it comes to the family, just like prayer is so crucial, it's like breathing. Your relationship with God and having him as your number one priority, prayer is so important because it's like breathing. It's in and out, in and out. It has to go. That's the only way you stay alive, right? You got to breathe in, you got to breathe out. So the same thing with the family, have that communication there, okay? I know it's crazy and people can get busy, but, right now, you probably a typical situation in somebody's home will be, you got a TV in every room, right? You got the dad watching ESPN. He's probably watching the World Cup, okay? Still talking about how the USA got robbed on that one goal versus Slovenia. I know, I'm still bitter, but so you got the dad watching ESPN on this side. You got the mom watching her Lifetime channel, right? And TLC, the O channel, watching Oprah in her bedroom. She's probably watching that. You probably got the girl watching Justin Bieber videos on MTV in her bedroom. And then you got the boy, right? And then you got the boy probably playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare on his PS3 or Halo, whichever one on your Xbox. Again, whichever camp you are. Can't discriminate, right? So everybody's in their own little world, doing their own little thing, and the communication barely exists. Now, all that stuff is fun. There's nothing wrong with any of that. But you can't sacrifice what's that crucial, that breath of your family, of having that communication back and forth. So I put here, dinner around the table. If you don't do that, start doing that today. Start taking time aside. When you're going to eat, you eat together. You're talking, you're sharing. That's super important. That's super important you do that. And if it's not at the dinner table, then find some time. Because maybe, everybody has, if your kids are older, they have crazy schedules, whatever. But find time that you're spending with them, talking to them, hearing them out, sharing with them. You never know. Hey, you never know. There are plenty of studies, and, I'll let you Google them at home, when it talks about when the family eats together at the dining room table, the kids usually have either better verbal communication, better, they do better in school, stuff like that. They have less behavioral issues, Probably some of the mom and dads now think, man, my kid is bad. We're going to eat at the table tonight, So that works. Suppose this works. Or bedtime routine, it's another thing, if either praying with your kids before they go to bed or, saying, hey, what was your favorite part of the day today? Or what'd you learn today? Stuff like that. Having some type of routine. Right now, my little son, he's 1, and so he's still little, he doesn't talk back too much besides noises, and he says papa and for food and stuff like that. But, we try to do little routines on, when we're praying together while he's getting his last bottle or, doing things like that, having fun time in the bath and, different things like that, creating routines as a family, and also having that time to pray, to worship, to read the Bible together as couples, as, marriage, as families. That's super important, that God is the foundation of the family and that it's working, together in that. Super important. So now here comes our third priority, because there's 4. There's 4 that I believe in. Here's our third one, is your community. Now here this wraps up everything. It wraps up the city where you live, your neighborhood, your state, your country. We all have a duty, obviously, to love others. And who are our others? It's everybody that's around us. Jesus, right before he left, he died on the cross, rose, again on the third day. And right before he went up to heaven, he gave what was a great commission. He said, go out into your city, into your neighboring area, into your nation, and tell them about me. Tell them the good news. And so how we function in this, where we live, in the country, in the system where we live, is important to God too. We just can't ignore that. We can't ignore that. So here we have different roles in society, right? You got your friends, you got your neighbors, right? You got your job. Like it matters to God how you perform at your job. There's plenty of verses in the Bible that talks about what a good employee should be. Talks about what a good employer should be too. He should be good and fair and pay his bosses, pay his employees honestly. Some of you probably that you think your boss is being cheap, probably going to go find that verse tonight and go show him to him tomorrow maybe. I don't know if you're that bold, but it says it there. It says it there. We have a duty to love God. We have a duty to love our family, but we also have a duty to love and to be a positive impact in the community where we live in. The church, that's where this is involved in. This is your spiritual family. If you don't have a home church, we invite you. This can be your place. To be able to have those people that you can rely on and share your spiritual struggles, be there to help each other out. You got your friends. Even in our community here in Tampa, we have people that are needy, that are homeless, or just drug addicts. They're just going through some stuff, abuse victims. It's our responsibility too to love them as well and help them out and make a difference. Reach out to them. Reach out to those people. So are you making a difference in your city? If not, we want to be a place, this church wants to be a place where we offer at least opportunities to help you along, to help make a difference in your community. There's this one organization that we're actually partnering with, and it's called CA2Y, which is an organization started by this guy, Jose Beretta. He's a missionary kind of passed away in the last 30 years around Tampa. And his organization that he set up is this educators prayer network, where he has relationships with pretty much all the principals in almost any school you can think of in Tampa and different areas. And he's on good terms with all of them. And what he does is he helps find Christian teachers in every school and helps them find other Christian teachers in the same school to help create these little mini communities where they're praying for the kids. And that's what they're doing. They're praying for the kids and reaching out to them and trying to be there for them and offer that answer. You probably didn't even know it, and this guy is making an impact in your kids, and you had no clue what his name was. Because he knows literally, when I'm telling you every principal, he knows them by name. This is weird. He has a good memory. He knows everybody. And so we really believe in what he does. And we as a church, we want to be able to support that and help reach out to kids in public schools and empower people, prayer warriors in these schools to continue to pray and intercede for these kids. So we wanted to partner with them and make a difference. And so later, and encourage them and help them along do different things. And so we'll let you know. But that's just one of many opportunities that we want to be able to offer and let you know. And don't be limited to only what we can do. Do something on your own if you have that opportunity. Reach out to somebody. Help meet a need. Help meet a need. And the Great Commission didn't stop with just your city, your nation. Actually, Jesus kept on going. Then he says into everywhere in the world. The world is needs to be a priority as well. I don't know how many times you think of starving people in Africa. Probably little, because it doesn't hit me too much unless I see a commercial, right? Because we're all usually all wrapped up in what's kind of going on in our lives and what we're doing. And it's hard to remember that, we have a duty as well to go out and to help other people in other parts of the world, especially us in this country that we have so many freedoms and resources and things like the internet to be able to do that. Not everyone has the freedom to be on the internet in most countries, And so we have so many opportunities available to us to go out and make that difference. And so that's what this, so don't limit how God can use you for just, your neighborhood or your city. You never know what God can do. He might take you to places that you never thought he would take you. And you know what? He might maybe he won't physically take you, but you can have either with even your money. You can use your money to go out to somewhere that you physically can go to and make a difference too. Talking to us as a church, we want to lead by example. And so we're actually, here we're talking about there's the poor, there's needy, hopeless people in the world. Many people dying from AIDS, thirst and hungry. So many people that have so many lack of freedoms that they wish that, sometimes we take for granted what we have here. And sometimes we think we have it bad. Even the poorest of us, sometimes we think we have it bad, but other people in the world would kill to have our problems. They would kill to have our problems. They risk their lives, so many times to be able to have our problems.